And you talk about the resurgence, in a way, of farmers, especially in Eastern Adirondacks and Essex and Clinton County. We've seen it. A number of young farmers, a new generation, a number of them train and have worked on Mark and Kristen Kimball's farm, Essex Farm. But they are coming in, as you mentioned, the larger dairy farms that we're so used to that dotted the landscape. A number of them have gone out of business, and they're coming in but running smaller, more specialty operations, more diversified.
Yeah, we do see a range of new businesses starting, which is exciting. From the 2017, the last agriculture census was in 2017. And what that shows is that in Essex, Saratoga, and Washington counties, there's actually been an increase in the number of farms between 2012 and 2017. So we see it in the numbers to some extent. Now, numbers can be deceiving. Incomes have not risen on those farms, and in some cases, average net cash income at the end of the year for farms is really bad. In Essex County, it's $2,000 net cash income annually. Again, that's not, while there is an increase in number of farms, that is not a sustainable situation. That is not we are at a place where these farms who started maybe 5 to 10 to 15 years ago at the beginning when Essex Farm started, and a lot of us came to work on Essex Farm, myself included. I joined Essex Farm in 2009. I met my husband there. We were part of that wave who started farms spinning off of Essex Farm. But we're reaching the 8, 9, 10 years of production and realizing we're never going to retire. We got kids now. How is this going to work in the long run? And so I think there's a tenuous balance happening right now where there's been this really exciting increase in energy and positivity around farming in the Eastern Champlain Valley and in the Champlain Valley and the Eastern Adirondacks. But can we sustain it? Are we able to sustain it? And at the same time, like you said, our larger dairies are not making it. Now, I think there's some potential for those two scenarios to benefit each other. If there is a resurgence of both young, and we spoke earlier, of older folks who are taking their investments, what they have worked their lives to save, and investing in farmland up here. There's a number of different examples of older generation folks who are starting farms and employing younger folks. That exciting movement can potentially support the transition of these dairies if they choose to transition out of dairy, and they are able to keep their land in that transition. And there is a lot of support for these folks that are transitioning out of dairy. If we're able to continue to grow this agricultural economy, there may be alternative options for dairy farms that are struggling to stay in grass-fed beef production, for example, or hay production. There are some ways that there can be hopefully some symbiosis that happens there. Another challenge is the understanding is what does a farm livelihood look like? Does it look like that household makes all of its income from farming, or is there always going to be what used to be the wife that had the off-farm job? That's always that is the way our agricultural economy has existed.
That could provide the health insurance.
That could provide the health insurance, the daycare options, the cash income for the family. That was the steady, that was the baseline from which the farm could add to and hopefully not take away from. That was the safety net. That isn't a goal. I would hope that we could fight for an agricultural economy that provided a livelihood for people on its own. That if two members of a family if the two income earners in a family wanted to both farm, that they could design a farm in the Adirondacks that would allow them to pay for health care for themselves and for their workers, and that would allow them to retire in the long run. We are a long way from that happening. But the Food Justice Working Group and the policy work that the Essex Farm Institute does, we are really striving to focus on how farms can be both prosperous, socially responsible, and environmentally beneficial. How can we do all three of those things? And often what happens is if we focus too much on the environmental, the financial drops out. And we end up, maybe we're around for 10 years, but then we can't make it financially, or we have to go get an off-farm job, so we decrease the number of farm activities, we go get the off-farm job. Now, there's many different scenarios, but is there a way we can have these farms that are diversified, resilient, and triple bottom line, but are still, that are able to last for multiple generations, the way the dairy farms have? They have been around for a lot longer than the small diversified farms. I mean, those died out for a reason, potentially. Are we able to bring them back? I think we have a really good chance of doing that in the Adirondacks. If we can coalesce the energy that is here to work on this now, all the organizations that are working on it, ANCA, ADK Action, Northeast Organic Farmers Association of New York and of Vermont, the various universities that have agricultural programs, Cobleskill, SUNY Plattsburgh, SUNY Adirondack, a number of different places where there's efforts being put in. Can we coalesce that to make it a prosperous livelihood for people up here?
And you talk about the organizations coming, the farmers, the county health officials. Who else can come to the food summit? Is it primarily those groups and only those groups, and they're invited?
Absolutely
or is it
not.
Open
it is absolutely
to everyone?
open to everyone. We have had a number of years, we've had some really great contributions from community members who are really engaged in this issue. It is an important issue for them personally, for whatever reason. Anybody can come and learn and contribute. The request for proposals that we put out every year is open to anyone, individual or organization, to participate. We have very low registration fees, and we have financial assistance for anyone who can't pay those fees. We also have volunteer opportunities where if you would like to come and help support the day just by being a volunteer to help register people, you can come for free. So it's really quite affordable, and we encourage anyone and everyone to come.